The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, for the Business Buzz. And what can I say? I think some school has started this week, but most of the schools are still out, so those roads are still free in the morning. I know we're really excited about that, at least for the next couple of weeks. Me, I live really, really, really close to work, but I don't really have to deal with traffic. But for everybody that's out there, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. I hope everybody has an amazing day. I'm very excited to say that in studio, when I walked in, the studio table is full of goodies, some treats that is coming from the Grand Cayman Marriott Resort's Anchor and Den restaurant. So I was quite happy, even though I made it myself a pretty big, good breakfast today. It was a great treat for myself to walk in and see all these treats that are on this table here. So good morning to the gentlemen joining me in the studio from the Grand Cayman Marriott. We have Yogesh. Narvekar. You know, when I said it the first time, it was no problem for me. All of a sudden, I can't see. Yogesh Narvekar, who's the restaurant and bar manager. And we have Santiago Mancini, the executive sous chef at the Marriott. So good morning, gentlemen, and how are you doing?
Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are really good, and thank you very much for having us over here.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for coming. I know we're here really to talk about the Wanderlust brunch that is at the Marriott, right?
Yes.
And I do have to say, most people have been to the Marriott for brunch. We love it. It's a great brunch spot.
Thank you.
Great food selection, drink selection, the coffee station, the little crepe station. I don't know if the crepe station is still right there, but that was one of my favorite little spots. Yes, so I'm glad it's still there. And there's so much that the Marriott does have going on in different. You guys are really good at representing different nations as well for the food. So it's not just kind of, let's say, an American style or a Caribbean style when it comes to the brunch. It's all sorts of different nations that you'll find. They're kind of the best foods out there for them being represented. So
thank you.
Love to see that. Thanks. All right, so the Wanderlust brunch. Before we get into that, I'd like to know a little bit about both of you gentlemen. If you could tell us how you got into this industry, and I guess Yogesh will start with you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in this industry for almost now more than 20 years. Honestly, if you ask me, I came to this industry by accident.
What do you mean by that?
I was always good in studies, so my dad always wanted me to become an engineer. But unfortunately, I couldn't get to the college. So I said, okay, let's do something different. Okay. And I'm talking about 20 years before, when hotel management was not that big thing, especially in India. Okay, so then,
and what I know about Indian families is the pressure to be like studying certain things. Yes,
engineers.
Yeah.
So that's why. But then honestly, after that, I really like this industry because I'm like talkative person, so I love to talk a lot. And
great.
This industry is the perfect for me, and that's how I landed in this industry. And I came to Cayman in 2011, almost 13 years now.
Okay.
With Marriott, started a career as a lead server. I've grown up, and right now handling the Anchor and Den as a restaurant and bar manager.
Okay. Well, you were working in the restaurant bar management kind of industry back in India as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked with JW Marriott Mumbai for almost 3 years. Then Law Meridian for almost 2 years. So I almost had like 5 to 6 years of experience in India also.
Okay, so you're familiar with the Marriott brand.
Yes.
And the opportunity to came
brand.
here blossomed for you.
So overall, with this brand, I'm for 15 years now.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot that you know that goes behind this brand. And excellent. All right, Santiago, what about yourself?
Morning, everybody. Well, me, I've been on this business hospitality business for more than 23 years, I would say, 22, 23.
Okay.
And then I've been not always been a chef, definitely. I started from the very bottom.
What's the bottom? Was that like a dishwasher?
No, peeling potatoes and onions.
Okay.
Not getting into the line, at least.
Okay, gotcha.
That would be at back home in Argentina. So I've been more on the restaurant business chef part. But then I was just going my way up, and then this opportunity came to Grand Cayman. I came in Grand Cayman in 2010, still doing in working restaurants in here, till I finally found my way. Let's put it on my career, company career. So I've been with company Marriott since 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that, also doing my way up from the bottom of as a leadership position, which was as a junior sous chef till today, as I am a executive sous chef at Grand Cayman Marriott.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So when you started in Argentina with this, was it just like you were, a young kid and it was like a job after school you could do?
Yes,
or was it something that you were really interested in?
I was really interested. I mean, I found myself back in our business is the first day that you really go inside the kitchen, then you will realize if it is for you or not. Like, there's no way, or within the first week, And I finished school in 2000, and then I was doing my apprenticeship, and then when I found myself in the kitchen, I said, yes, this is what I really want. So then I started working on it, and then I've been a cook since there.
Okay.
Till I moved to. Actually, I went to Ritz Carlton. I worked in Ritz Carlton in Naples for 2 years.
Okay.
I was doing a training.
Who did you say in Naples?
Naples, Florida.
Oh, Naples, Florida. Okay.
Naples, Florida.
Well, you know, I'm thinking Naples.
No.
In
Naples,
Italy.
Florida.
Okay.
For 2 years.
Okay.
In 2006 until 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Then went back home. Keep working as a head chef at home. And then this opportunity came to me to come to Grand Cayman. So I said yes. Why not?
All right. Like the rest of us.
Yeah.
They got the opportunity,
Yes.
right? And you're
Definitely.
right. Once you step into the kitchen the first week or so, you know whether you want to be there or not. So restaurant industry, from being a young kid and teenager and saying, okay, I need a job, a little part-time job, and was bussing tables. I think I was helping in dishwashing, and I was like, so that was the start of the kitchen experience. It was a
Yes.
no for me.
Yes.
I couldn't handle the hecticness, so it definitely takes a certain mindset for sure to be in there, and a certain energy that you have to have,
Definitely,
right?
we need
Yeah.
it.
Oh, absolutely. You have a big team at the Marriott, so
Yes,
you need to
yes,
have that.
definitely we have it.
So the Wanderlust Brunch. Tell us about this. How did this concept come about? A lot of people, before we get there, don't know what Wanderlust
This
means.
Wanderlust is more about, going around the world, seeing a lot of different places and exploring the world. That's the idea was behind the Wanderlust Brunch. The inspiration I can come from is basically it's a diverse culture what we have on the island. There are so many different nationalities. There are so many different cuisines on the island, right? But then you don't have one restaurant which gives you all the cuisines. So that's why it's like, why don't we, when we are discussing, why don't we do something where people can come and try different food under one roof at one time. So that's where this Wanderlust idea came, and then we started with that. I think we actual brunch. So we started in 2014, but then the Wanderlust actually came in around 2020. That's where.
Around 2020?
Yeah.
When we had to go into lockdown, or after lockdown time?
I think after lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
a lot of us couldn't even leave at that time, so we needed to explore.
We are kind of lucky. So obviously, after three months, the lockdown, we still able to. After 3 months, we were able to open the restaurant, and that's where we started with the Wanderlust Brunch.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, a lot of us couldn't even travel
Yeah.
at that time, so
Yeah,
at least
so
being
at
able to
least
travel through
the
food
yes.
Yeah.
is a bit of an experience that we could have at least on island. Okay. So has the concept of the brunch changed at all from you started to where we are now with it?
Yes, there are a lot of I can see because there's so many new cuisines are coming up, right? There's so I remember when we started, that was more focused on American, European, Italian, Spanish food.
Mm-hmm.
But then now, if you go now, we have new cuisines coming, like Argentinian food is there. You have Nikkei, which is Peruvian and Japanese cuisine. Then you have
Thailand.
Sri Lanka, now Nepal. So those lot of food, like lot of new cuisines are coming. So that's why we are keep adding those more and more options on in the buffet now.
Okay, I love it. How do you think your brunch stands out compared to I guess, different brunches on the island? Because this is a pretty popular island for brunch, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think yours stands out, or I guess you position yourself differently compared to the other brunch spots that we do have?
I think we are the first one to, like, obviously there are some hotels before also we're doing brunch, but we started in 2014. But then the variety what we offer, especially when it's come to the drink varieties, because most of the brunches where you get sparkling wine, where you can try 3-4 different cocktails. We have wines, we have beers, we have we give like non-alcoholic drinks and whatever you want, like that's
Right.
continuously free flowing.
Yeah, the offering, no? The
offerings
that we offer redundantly from the beverage side and from the food side is so big that makes us our
Standard
guests to come, and then they like it, because there's no that we just stay with something. Okay, you have this and this, and then that's it. No, we offer and there's a big variety of offering in both sides.
And if you come for this brunch and come for the next brunch, you will find different things. You will not find the same things on the buffet. Like certain things will be there definitely, but then most of the stuff you will find from a different country.
So how do you decide that? Each week, is it a kind of a certain theme that you select from, or?
So usually what we do, we plan. We always have every Friday actually meet with our sales and marketing team, and we all sit together on every Friday and discuss. And then also we considering, okay, for example, in May, like first week of May, we know the Cinco de Mayo is there, so let's go with the Mexican food, right?
Okay.
So then now maybe in September we have Oktoberfest coming in, so September maybe let's go with the German food, or so those. So that's
Day, or we kind of go on the direction that it's on special holidays or events that are coming in or are in that month, or even though the next month, right? Yeah. So we can start prepping on that and then thinking on, but then the whole theme of that day it goes focus on that special.
Okay. Yeah. We still have every time we have our local flavors and everything there, but apart from that, we some of the items we make sure that it's focus on that special event or something like that.
Okay, well, it is breakfast time, so this is the time that people are eating, so we're enticing people or making some Mel's water out there for those who might not have made breakfast before they left the house today. But is there any popular dishes that you consistently will keep in there, or dishes that people, you'll hear that they want that back for that brunch?
Well, popular dishes would be, definitely we use local produce, local farmers. We do. We support that. So then I would say our snapper, we make a big snapper, whole snapper, and then we do it in like a rundown, or escovitch could be, but then kind of, not always, not every Sunday, but when it's not there, then people ask for it, and then say, okay, next week we'll put it back again. Yeah.
So that's something that's in demand.
That would be the signature, and then plus our raw bar on Asian side, with sushi, raw bar, oysters, ceviches, because now we incorporate ceviches plus tiraditos, or they maybe aguachiles more. We were more on
plus
in
what?
Mexico.
Tiraditos.
Oh.
Yeah, or
I don't know this.
So it's like
I feel uncultured now.
No, it's like I wouldn't know how to explain exactly. Because it's not a ceviche, definitely it's not.
Okay.
But
it's a raw fish.
It's a raw fish with some sauce, so you can go with it. And then also we incorporated since a while ago, even though into that raw bar and sushi bar, we incorporated more Thai food from Thailand, as we have some team members from Thailand and Indonesia. So we just keep adding and changing the themes, and then adding more flavors to what we have. So that's the big thing.
Okay, you said a key thing. So team members. So some of your brunch options, your menu options, a little bit depend on the team members that you have.
Yes.
at the
Oh yes,
Marriott.
definitely.
Because
Okay,
we want
we're
to
going to
make
get into
sure-
that,
we want
but
to
we got to
make-
go to
yeah.
commercial break right now. So when we come back, I want to hear more about how you incorporate, I guess, your team members in deciding what your menu is going to be when it comes
Yes.
to lunch.
Oh yes,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, let's go to our first commercial break, and then we'll be back speaking with the Marriotts.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The Cayman Islands has a rich history of recognizing sports and recreation as an important element in the social and economic development of these islands. In 1935, Governor Cornwall organized the first regatta for catboats and schooners, both as a social event and as a means of encouraging tourists visiting Jamaica to come to the Cayman Islands. By 1947, it was recommended that every school should have a sports day, followed by the first inter-school sports day held in 1949. By 1976, the Cayman sailing team was in the Olympics, followed by the island's participation in Carifta, Central America and Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games, Island Games, World Championships in athletics, and World Cup qualifiers in football.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I am speaking with representatives from the Marriott Resorts, specifically from Anchor and Den Restaurant. And we have in studio Yogesh, Narvekar. All right, I know I almost butchered it the first time. Restaurant and bar manager. And we have Santiago Mancini, executive sous chef at the Marriott. And we were talking about their Wanderlust brunch, which we're still going to get into. And right before the break, Santiago had mentioned when it came to, I guess, selecting certain dishes, what you're going to include in a brunch each week, there was a bit of reliance on the team. So I guess that's the team in the kitchen there, and their influence on what the menu might be. So can we talk about that? Can you let me know how you work that out?
Well, definitely. The good thing, I mean, not a good thing, what really defines us as Grand Cayman Marriott is that the culture that we have, and then the big, so many different cultures that we just adapt, and then everybody just keeps their part, right? So we take that, we it's not that we use it, but we take it, and then everybody, every team member, as I said before, gives their part, right? So could be from Nepal, could be from Mexico, could be from Argentina, could be from Nicaragua, Indonesia. So everything gives their part, right, in what our anchor and then menu concept, right? As we are globally inspired.
Yeah,
Right.
our motto is globally inspired and sourced locally. So that's our motto for the anchor, and then
I like
and
that.
then when we have this different culture, and the thing is that if the people from different countries, they can get their authentic food on the table. So
Right,
that's being an Indian, maybe I won't be able to cook Argentinian food, the white sauce, everything. But then, so that's why it is very important for us to involve all the team players in the menu designing thing. So obviously they come with the suggestions, and according to the demand or according to the structure of the buffet, we make sure that we rotate those stuff. But then yes, the team members are a really important part for the Wanderlust brunch.
Okay. So for example, let's say you have some team members that could be from Thailand, and they say, this is an authentic dish from Thailand. This is what we suggest. Do you then let them kind of take ownership in that sense of the menu, or?
Yes, we have a structure in every menu, in every branch menu. So they came with their ideas. We just put them on the table. We work on them. And then, but basically what we do, we encourage them to take the lead and make the steps, and then be them who are creating that dish.
I like that, because that's almost like not a training, but in a sense, you're leading them into the next step of their career as a chef. Really.
So like, sorry, just coming out of brunch part, but then that's what we're currently doing. One of our series going on Cook's Tour, which we are doing like once in a month. We just started last month, where we are actually, our line chefs, they're coming, we are putting them in front, and they create the menu and we showcase them. So like last month we had Mexico and Peru. This month we have...
That was the month it was Peru, because I'm trying to figure out Peru.
Yeah,
so
and then
check out their cuisine.
this coming next, like on 31st of this month, we are having Thailand and Nepal. So
okay.
But then that's how we encourage them, and those also things then we can use in our brunch. So maybe you missed out on our Peru or Mexico night. Maybe whenever we put that on our brunch menu, definitely we'll let you know.
Absolutely, definitely. That's very interesting. I like that idea. I like the concept of exploring different countries and what their food specialties might be.
Yeah.
I also really love that kind of that tagline that you said, globally inspired but locally sourced.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that relationship with local farmers and food producers.
Well, we as Marriott company, we support the locally sourced as much as possible, definitely, and then. That also defines us in a way that we are gonna do the brunch menu, not the whole menu, but maybe a part, or maybe just the raw bar plus the international station. Then when we talk during the week with the farmers, I say, okay, I have mixed greens, or I have local peppers, or I have eggplants, cage-free eggs. Then from what they have, even though if we cannot put everything on the menu because of the demand and the quantity of people that we serve, but then we really focus on having at least one station with locally sourced products.
I really like that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, especially for visitors who are in Cayman, having brunch there.
Yeah.
And being able to know, okay, this is locally sourced food and all the rest. A specific taste of Cayman. Sometimes people venture out. Sometimes they don't really leave their hotel area. So the fact that you can still have those offerings within the hotel is really important.
Yes, definitely.
On the beverage part also, we are closely working with Cayman Spirit company. They are really our great partner. Actually, with them, we had we created our two gins, Anchor and Engine, Anchor and Orange Blossom gin, and recently we launched our Golden Muse rum, Anchor and rum.
Wow!
And that's all
your own signature rum.
Yes, that's all in collaboration with Cayman Spirit.
All right, shout out to Nelson Dilbert of Cayman Spirits. He's doing a great thing. Very proud of him. Very happy with what he's doing, and to see that growth is pretty amazing. What about Caymanians that are in the hotel industry within the kitchen there? Is there quite a lot that is employed? Do you see an interest?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. We have.
How much? Sydney is more than 20 years with us.
Sydney is more than my senior. He's not breakfast, but he's all over.
Yeah.
He's more than 20
years.
20 years in company here. Plus, and then we have Brinsley, which is our other senior, which is the chef in charge of the staff meal. He's also more than 15, 18 years, I would say.
We do have. We have young Caymanians also joining us. We have.
I'm interested in the young ones as well. The people that are trying to get interested in the industry, because tourism is I think within the top 4 now of our pillars in the economy.
Yeah, even some of them they came for
we have
internships, and then they stay.
Yeah,
and
wonderful.
we took them. Yes.
Great, that's perfect.
Yeah. Oh yes,
we have very good collaboration with all these schools, and where usually we get these people come for internship with us.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, anything else about this brunch you specifically want people to know? What else is going to get them out there? I know you have an incredible array of different countries that you represent at the Wanderlust brunch at the Marriott. Anything else that you would want people to know to bring them out to enjoy the brunch there?
I can say we're the best.
I can see Santiago's really thinking about this.
No, yeah, I mean, this is a lot, but then it's really worth it to come and taste. I mean, not just the food, but it's just the whole experience. So we have the DJ coming in.
Yes, you do.
It's the whole experience.
Yeah.
Plus the service, the guys on the front, they are great. They're always in there. So the whole experience from when you start, when you walk into the lobby, and then you have the hostess just waiting for you for getting to your table, to where you sit down, and then you start enjoying the brunch itself.
Yeah, it's true. It is great.
The whole experience.
Yeah.
And honestly, we are really thankful to the local community and the kind of support they have been giving to us for so many years. And that's why I would really like to say thank you to them. And yes, apart from what we spoke, we also take care of in all the diet restrictions. So anybody has any dietary something, they can just reach out to us on hello@anchoranden.com or 9490088 and make reservations.
Try to come with your dietary restrictions prior to arriving. Maybe let people know.
Yes.
Yeah, but
usually that's why when we send the emails for the confirmation, we always ask specifically what are the dietary restrictions they have.
Okay.
When they come in, our chef goes out with them, show them what they can have. If they want something apart from that, our chef prepare at that moment, and we serve it on the table for them. But yes, we accommodate all the dietary restrictions.
Got it. Sometimes I gotta ignore whatever dietary restriction just so I can enjoy the fullness of that particular food that I want to enjoy. So it could be hard.
Definitely, we take the time, and then one of my chefs just goes out with the guest, and then walks the buffet with them, and then explain the whole buffet with the whole menu. And if still there are things that we need to accommodate, then we accommodate from the inside kitchen.
Okay,
yes,
that's
even better.
Wonderful service. So how much money does this brunch cost? What do we got to come with?
So it's with alcohol, which is unlimited sparkling wine, cocktails, beers, everything that, and plus food is 85 Cayman dollars. Plus
that's with alcohol?
Yeah, that with alcohol.
That's a really good price.
85 Cayman dollars plus 18% gratuities, which comes roughly around 97 something.
What about us non-drinkers?
Yes, we do have 75 Cayman dollars, and then you can have as much as non-alcoholic drinks also. We have nowadays that trend is coming, and we know that's where we need to add on more.
I agree.
Yes, because now
it's not a trend; it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, yes, zero proof percentage alcohol, what we call. So that's alcoholic drinks. That's it's coming. So we already working on those non-alcoholic drinks. We done the menu, and that's again one of the part in the brunch. Even if you are not, even if you are don't want to drink any nice margarita, but you can still drink margarita with zero proof tequila or something.
Wonderful.
Like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those also options.
I always look for options like that.
Yes,
so
we do have.
I super appreciate knowing that that's available.
Yeah.
So wonderful. Thank you. So Reservations, where should people reach out to?
So we have the email ID called hello@anchorlandden.com. It's HELLO@ANCHORANDDEN.com. So,
Right.
and then otherwise they can directly reach out on 949-0088, and our telephone operators are at your service. They can make a reservation for them, and one of my colleagues will reach out to them for the confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got to stay on it if I want to go to those special dinner series that you have once a month.
Yes,
I've got to.
Yes.
I've got to really put it into my calendar. I'm so bummed I missed the Peruvian one. So you'll see me soon there at Anchor and Den for sure. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us this morning.
Thank
and
you,
I hope
Kathy,
you have
for your time and
No
for
problem.
having us.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great rest of your day.
You
And everybody else, we're going to the 8 a.m. news, and then we'll be back in our second segment of the Business Buzz just around 8:15.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time by Foster's is a minute after 8.
All right, class, pay attention. School is back in session, and it's time to get back to school ready with Foster's.
Foster's is embracing the school spirit with all the essentials like backpacks, stationery, lunch kits, and more.
And online, treat yourself to our blog at livewell.fosters.ky to help kids navigate back to school anxiety and start the school year with confidence.
And any parents hoping to spend more time at home, there's always fresh delivery from Foster's Go.
Think you got all that? We'll test you on it later.
Get ready for a great fresh start with Foster's.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With a look at Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news, I'm Dion Anglin. Cayman lawyer Langston Sibley's KC is the author of The Regulation of the Financial Industry in the Cayman Islands from Offshore Financial Center to International Financial Center. It provides an overview of the development and evolution of the Cayman Islands regulatory framework over the past 25 years and an explanation of the changes made against the backdrop of intense scrutiny and review by various international bodies, standard setters, and other governments.
There have been a number of books written on the history and growth of the Cayman Islands financial industry. Thus far, however, there has been no comprehensive publication tracing the steady development of the regulation of the sector. Therefore, this book attempts to address this issue and to fill the gap by laying out a coherent roadmap of the evolution and implementation of its regulatory and legal framework.
Mr. Sibley's hopes to have his book available in local bookstores soon. Persons interested in obtaining a copy can contact Debbie Webb Sibleys on dwebbsibleys@candw.ky or call 926-0748. The cost of the book is $25 CI. Brenda Ebanks receives Chief Officer's Choice Award for Excellence in Governance Practices. Radio Cayman's Jevi Ebanks has the details.
Brenda Ebanks, the Finance and Administration Officer of the Cayman Islands National Archive, has been honored with the Chief Officer's Choice for March 2024. The award recognizes her outstanding contribution to governance practices within the civil service. As a part of the Deputy Governor's Award program, Ms. Ebanks was nominated by the Cayman Islands National Archives Director Cherise Morrison. Her role involves managing financial activities for 3 separate government entities, emphasizing honesty, impartiality, and fairness. Ms. Ebanks exemplifies integrity by ensuring compliance with the Public Management and Finance Act, regulations, and financial procedures and standards. Director Morrison praised Ms. Ebanks' dedication and teamwork. Despite handling background tasks, her efficient work forms the foundation of the Cayman Islands National Archives frontline services. In addition to financial management, Ms. Ebanks assists with HR responsibilities, allowing CINE to consistently deliver world-class service and safeguard historical documents for the Cayman Islands. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
And low on funds, no vet, and past maximum capacity, the Cayman Islands Humane Society is having a rough go of it, but they remain steadfast in their commitment to taking care of the animals at the shelter. In order to do this, a little help goes a long way, so they have launched their 50-50 raffle. Operations Manager at the Humane Society, Samantha Cooper, explains.
So we are doing a 50-50 raffle as our largest fundraiser right now. So whoever wins first prize will win half the cash raised, and Humane Society will take the rest. We're really grateful to Performance Automotive for giving us a starting jackpot of $1,000. So if we sold only one ticket, the winner would get $512 actually selling tickets fairly well at the moment, so we're hopeful that it will be quite an attractive jackpot. And of course, all of it will help us to continue our work. Tickets will be on sale until the 14th of November, and we're drawing on the 15th of November. So anyone aged 18 or over can participate, and you don't have to be in the Cayman Islands on the 15th when we do the draw. We will notify you and do a bank transfer, and we also can have international participants. If there are people returning to their home countries who hear this and want to take part, we can facilitate that.
There are also a few other ways to help.
I would also mention that we have a volunteer meetup on the 5th of September, 5:30 at Duke's. For anyone who isn't able to contribute in monetary terms but would like to contribute their time, are welcome to come along.
If you would like to volunteer or donate, you can visit their Instagram page at Cayman Humane, email fundraising@caymanhumane.org, visit their website at caymanhumane.org, or call them at 949-1461 for further details. Now for a look at news from around the world, here's the BBC.
I'm Debbie Russ with the BBC News. The Israeli army says it has retrieved the bodies of 6 hostages from Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. The 6 men had been captured in southern Israel during the Hamas attacks on October the 7th. John Donnison is in Jerusalem.
Those 6 people were Yagev Buchstab, Alexander Danzig, Avram Mundar, Yoram Metzger, Chaim Perry, and Nadav Popplewell. All of those people, apart from Avram Mundar, were already known to, presumed to have been killed. We don't know when they died. We don't know where their bodies were retrieved, but we have had a statement this morning from Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who of course has faced quite a lot of criticism from some hostage families for not doing enough to get the remaining hostages freed. He said, "Our hearts grieve over the terrible loss."
The world's oldest living person has died at the age of 117. Maria Branyas was born in the United States in 1907, moving to Catalonia as a small child. She arrived in Spain at the start of the First World War and lived through the Spanish Civil War. In 2020, she became the oldest known person to survive COVID-19 at the height of the pandemic. Her family said she had died peacefully in her sleep.
That's it for Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news. I'm Dion Anglin.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store, or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of the Environment is to ensure our islands consider responsible use of our natural resources while preserving our native species and habitats for future generations. Learn more at conservation.ky.
The Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office remind all students traveling to and from school overseas to ensure their passports are valid for both travel and entry into their destination country. Passports should be renewed at least 10 weeks before departure, and any necessary student visas must be obtained. For passport services, contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office at 649-7678. For Ministry of Education scholarship inquiries, contact scholarships@gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 86 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure is 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 3 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate a weak pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean will support light winds and slight seas across the Cayman area for the next few days. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the northwest. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida continues to issue advisories on Hurricane Ernesto. Further information can be found at www.nhc.noaa.gov. This storm poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. The forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of afternoon showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet as well. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:43, low tide this afternoon at 3:44, and a high tide again tonight at 3 minutes past 10. The sun will set this evening at 6:48 and will rise tomorrow morning at 9 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for an increase in cloudiness and showers from Thursday morning as a tropical wave moves over the Cayman Islands. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Undetected ear, nose, and throat problems can impede a child's overall progress in school and affect their physical, emotional, and social well-being. Pediatric ENT screening can help safeguard children's well-being and growth. An ENT checkup is a comprehensive examination of the ears, nose, and throat, looking for abnormalities or potential health problems. Untreated ENT problems can lead to recurrent infections, hearing loss, developmental delays, and impaired academic performance. By identifying and addressing these issues promptly, you can ensure better health outcomes and support the overall development of children.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com. KY or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look this time at what's happening on our roads. Slow-moving traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Slight delays expected. As we look to the east on Shamrock Road and Rex Creighton Boulevard, traffic is moderate in both directions. And steady traffic on the Linford-Pearson Highway. Slight delays expected. And steady traffic coming off of Agnes Way. Bobby Thompson Way, traffic steady but flowing. And steady traffic on Hull Avenue. As we look to Owen Roberts Drive, traffic is moving on light to moderate. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing moderately in both directions, and traffic flowing at a good pace on Shedden Road. As we turn our eyes to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving on pretty good. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, Make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller. Business Buzz.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. Here I am having a little side conversation with our next guest currently in studio with me this morning from Doctors Hospital. I have neurologist Dr. Ryan, and we all know him because we're familiar with him on Radio Cayman here. We have HR Director, Mr. Mario Ebanks. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning, Kathy. Great to be here.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
No
really
problem.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime. You sound a little subdued right now. I know we were all excited a minute ago, but now it's like, good morning.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to live up to the brunch talk.
Did it get you hungry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we have a little snack for you.
I didn't know
when you're
Cayman
ready.
was a brunch place.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a popular, I want to say, drinking culture here. I don't know how else to describe it, Mario, but
it's culinary capital of the Caribbean, and it's really a great place to live, you know. So welcome, Dr. Ryan.
Yes, that too.
And your family.
That too. But the pastime very much is to very much go out and enjoy food, drink. Mm-hmm. And so it's a big, just kind of pairing the two together. And then the brunch environment here it's really big.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love it. In that sense, I enjoy it. I like brunch, but then you're like, okay, I don't need to eat for another week.
Yeah.
So for some of us who are more conscious of not overeating, brunch can be a challenge, but I absolutely love brunch, and the Marriott does a great one. So
that was a very interesting talk that you just had with the folks from Marriott, and you did such a great job with, orchestrating it and
Thank you.
Coordinating it.
Thank you. Big up Susan for that as well, because
that's
largely a part of what she does too. So, but we are talking totally different subject here. So we're going to be talking about neurology this morning, which I don't want to say makes me nervous, and that would be a really bad pun. Would it, Dr. Ryan? That would be a bad pun. But hey, here we are. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to find out, as I usually do, and when I start the show, is to get a little bit of a background, professional background history, how you got started in this profession. So Dr. Ryan, if you could start and let us know.
Yeah, and to start, I'm a fan, Kathy. I love listening to local radio anywhere I travel, and I like it because you kind of get a vibe. Right. And I'm most impressed when you have young people on, because it's scary how bright they are. And I'm happy I'm at the stage I am in my career, because I would never get work with these youngsters, how bright they are. It's amazing. And love the music. So I'm a neurologist. I was born and raised in Ontario, Canada, just outside Toronto. My parents moved there in the 70s. They're Guyanese, so we had a small West Indian community there. Attended medical school at Western University. Then I traveled out to Vancouver, your hometown. I was there. I did my residency there. I was there for almost 10 years in practice.
Okay. Where was your residency?
At UBC.
Okay.
Yeah, and the big Vancouver General Hospital.
Yeah.
In neurology. And then thereafter I did some training in the US, UCLA, which was amazing, and most recently Boston. And then somehow, somewhere I ended up in Cayman. And it was certainly something amazing, and I don't know how it happened. I think the most important things in life kind of just happen to you. But that's kind of my story in a nutshell.
How did you choose neurology? Because there's so many different sectors of health, really, that you could go into.
Yeah, and I was one of those. So for one, I always wanted to be part of some kind of service. That was something imparted to me, and it's very much a Caribbean thing, right? You have to take care of each other in your community. So that was certainly something my parents always instilled in me. And I always thought about medicine, but in Canada, as you know, it's an impossible feat. I think I still sit on the admissions committee in Western. And
what do you mean it's an impossible feat?
Out of 100 people that apply for medical school in Canada, 7 make it.
Wow.
7% acceptance rate.
Wow.
And so you have to have backups, right? Whether it's engineering, dentistry, something else. And so it's a miracle that you ended up getting in. And then I was one of those people that kind of just enjoyed medicine. It was a dream. And as we train, we kind of rotate through different specialties. And I was the type of guy that loved every specialty I rotated through. And that's what I wanted to do. And then one of my mentors, I was doing some summer research in epilepsy. And a lot of physicians hate neurology. And one thing that you said about how neurology makes you nervous, you're not alone.
Okay.
Neurology is super scary because even I'm not that old. I'm over 15 years into my career. I've had to relearn things 2 times over already. And it's really a black box. It's not taught well in medical school to start. And he told me that, we need brave people to do neurology. Neurology there's a lot of unknowns, and that's where you need to reach out because the stakes are really high. And I remember another instance very clearly. I was in my clerkship, so nearing my end of medical school, and I was on my emergency room rotation, and a stroke had come in to the hospital in London. And hopefully none of you see a stroke in real life. That's been my life for the last 15 years. I see stroke every single day, but to see it in real life is something scary, even for the most seasoned physician. And I remember everybody was running around because time is brain. Every minute counts with treating stroke. And I remember the stroke neurologist kind of walked in slowly. He had his Tim Hortons coffee, very calm, and he took care. At that time, there's a clot-busting medication we can give if someone comes in early enough to hospital. And he gave it, and there's something called the Lazarus effect. In 10% of stroke patients with that clot-busting medication, they get up and walk again. So this was a guy, 58 years old, I still remember his name, completely paralyzed on his right side, could not speak. And before my eyes, he was able to speak and move again. And I was like, I want to be that guy.
Wow.
And so from then on, I was hooked. And I've really done neurology, and I've subspecialized in stroke neurology for the last 15 years.
Okay. Wow, that's a great story. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I can understand, I think it's important that you shared that there's things that you had to relearn and relearn. I love to say the phrase, repetition is the mother of skill. We can learn something once. It doesn't mean we're an expert at it. We got to keep going back and learning and going back to something and seeing what else we could have missed. I like that, but also it was interesting how you pointed out that a lot of doctors or aspiring doctors are afraid of neurology. So I guess there's a big kind of risk. There's a lot of unknowns. You said that. So there, in the sense, there's a risk factor as a doctor, and I could imagine that doctors don't want a risk factor. They want to be pretty much 100% sure that this is the route we're taking and this is going to work. And so I can understand the pressure as a doctor that it could go either way in that sense.
And I think there's an understanding that the stakes are so high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And really everything, imagine the brain, right? The brain is this little thing, 3.5 pounds. It consumes 25% of our body's energy. And so a lot of things drive into the brain. And really there's this perception that, if something goes wrong, then there's nothing you can do. And really that I'm the first generation of physician who from start to finish, we had good stroke therapies.
Okay.
And so it really is something in evolution.
All right. We're going to get into a lot more detail about neurology. I got to turn to you, Mario, now and find out. I know a little bit about you, and I know some of our listeners do, but let's give them a little refresher about how you got into this industry, into HR, and some background on Doctors Hospital.
Yes, I think I'd prefer to speak about Doctors Hospital, and I'll talk about myself at another time. I think I love the people business, and that's why I think I'm attracted to the healthcare industry, because it's about helping people, and that's what human resources is all about. So I've been in HR from 1999, and so we have really been doing a lot of things in the local industry through the HR Society and whatnot. So I'm very happy to be part of the Doctors Hospital team. And Dr. Ryan Panambulam is a neurologist and a neurophysiologist. And so he joins a team of 27 physicians at Doctors Hospital. And within that group of 27 physicians, there are 21 unique practices. So we have a very diverse practice at the hospital. And as you recall, Kathy, Doctors Hospital was founded 25 years ago by the founder, Dr. Steve Tomlinson. At that time, it was called the Chrissy Tomlinson Memorial Hospital. It was named after his mother, of blessed memory. And in 2022, the hospital was purchased by a group of doctors and shareholders within the organization and rebranded to the name of CTMH, Doctors Hospital. Okay. And that's where we are. That's our brand today. And very proud to be associated with it. The main hospital is people may know, but of course there are visitors and new to the island and people listening who are coming onto the island that may not know, but we are located in Georgetown and Walkers and Middle Roads across from the Truth for Youth School and Goring Avenue. We're located at number 16 Middle Road, in case people want to do their Google Maps and find us if they're not sure. And it's very accessible. It's in the middle of Georgetown, close to the schools, close to the business community, close to cruise ship terminals. So very, very accessible, very convenient. 2 years ago, people may not realize this, but 2 years ago, CTMH, Doctors Hospital, purchased Integra Healthcare. And Integra Healthcare is now part of the Doctors Hospital family. And Integra Healthcare have clinics at Grand Pavilion and 7 Mile Beach, West Bay Road, and also at Harbour Walk near the Grand Harbour, which is across Crew Road, South Sound, and Raid Bay and Spots areas. But in addition to Doctors Hospital location, the main campus on Walkers Road, Middle Road, we also have a clinic at the Strand Plaza on 7 Mile Beach Road, which opened a few months ago. And again, that's a specialty clinic, offers an array of services. So now we have grown to a team of about 247 clinical and non-clinical professionals. That's between, Doctors Hospital and Integra. And we all live by the Doctors Hospital vision of unwavering commitment to your changing health. So that's what drives us, and that's why people like Dr. Ryan has joined our team. And at such a time as this, where the whole issue of neurology, stroke, brain health is so critical, especially with our we're a small jurisdiction, right? People think it's paradise with a lot of pressure here, a lot of issues, and so the issue of brain health is critical. And that's why we decided to take a leap and do a lot more in that area. So that's why Dr. Ryan is such a dynamic young man to be with us and such a talented physician.
Okay, I like that. And brain health is something that's a term that I don't want to say trending, but I feel like it's popped up in the past few years, that just the term brain health. So we're going to get more into that, understand what it is, understand exactly what neurology is for those, including myself, who don't know all the aspects of it. We're going to go to our commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Get your child ready for the new school year with Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Total Health's comprehensive back-to-school checkups include ENT, eye, and dental pediatric exams. Ensure your child's health with a complete health report card before school begins. Contact Total Health today at 333-2222 or visit totalhealth.ky to schedule your child's back-to-school checkup. Total Health, where wellness meets education, because every child deserves a healthy start.
So, schools are back in. And you know what that means. The germs are back too. All them sticky fingers, runny noses, and don't get me started on what I find in those bags. Trying to keep this house clean. I call GJP Janitorial. With over 20 years of experience in deep cleaning, furniture, and maid services, the house felt cleaner. And boy, so did I. Call GJP Janitorial for a free quote. 548-1221. GJP Janitorial. Lose the mop, we'll clean the slop. GJP Janitorial. 548-1221.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller. Business Buzz.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And a reminder, if you do want to give us a call, you can. The numbers to call are 949-8037. You can WhatsApp 925-3261 or give us a call on 1-800-534-8255. That is toll free for Flow customers. So those are the numbers that you can give us a call if you'd like to ask Dr. Ryan a question or have a comment that you want to make. We're talking about neurology. So, Dr. Ryan, as I told you, we're going to come back to what neurology is and to understand the term. So if you could somewhat briefly explain to us all that encompasses neurology.
That's a tough question.
What?
It's evolving. Neurology is a subspecialty of medicine. It really entails everything about the nervous system, what we call the central nervous system, which is the brain and spinal cord, and then the peripheral nervous system, which is the nerves, muscles, and how they communicate with each other. It's getting so broad, and as you know, with every career now, just the knowledge base is so big, no one can know everything. And so we're increasingly so subspecializing. And so although we're trained in everything, especially in North America, the trend now is you focus on one aspect of neurology because you just can't do it all. And so really it's the study of neurologic diseases due to the nervous system, and kind of developing treatments for that.
Okay, what would be some of the most common, I guess, illnesses that fall if you have a neurological problem?
Yeah. So for one, neurologic diseases, and it's quite understandable that because it's so huge, the nervous system is so huge, almost everybody on earth is going to have some form of neurologic condition. One thing I've seen in Ireland very, very quickly, I've only been here about a month or so, is migraines. And a lot of women don't, and I have a soft spot for women. And the reason why is that, and we can talk about this a little bit later, but neurologic diseases, and I have a line when I say, just like life is not fair, health is not fair. There are clear disparities, particularly when it comes to neurologic diseases. So migraine, 1 in 5 women in the world have migraines. I've seen probably 12 women over the last couple of weeks, all coming with headaches. None knew they had that diagnosis of migraine. And one thing I emphasize when I'm speaking to patients and to the public is language matters, right? Because language guides your behavior and it guides how we treat it. And so giving that patient a label, right, that it's not normal to have headaches this bad and that there are treatments for it. So migraine is certainly something very, very common worldwide, and certainly I see it on island. When we talk about other things that affect primarily our patient population, is stroke, right? And stroke is not fair, right? And the statistics are scary. So at the age of 45, somebody of Afro or Indo-Caribbean descent, their risk of stroke is 3 times higher than somebody else.
What?
Absolutely.
That's just a genetic thing.
It's complicated, but there's a genetic component, but there's also a systemic component, and it's linked to a number of things, especially high blood pressure, right? So that's something that matters, right? And that's what I mean when I say health is not fair, right? There are clear disparities. The other major disease that is getting a lot of press is dementia and cognitive impairment, which is memory loss that kind of starts to impact somebody's function. This is also not a fair disease, and again falls back to women. Do you know, by simply being a woman, your risk of dementia, your odds, is almost 2 times higher than that of a man?
No.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's scary. This is not new knowledge, and it's partially our fault as neurologists. I think we tend to be kind of quiet people. We tend to be quite studious and thoughtful. That's kind of how we're made. But I think part of our job as physicians is to raise this awareness. And it's a big deal. I think, for instance, there's studies that show that particularly patients of Caribbean descent, they believe that memory loss is a normal part of aging. That is not true. And so, for instance, they may just discount it, family members may discount it, but it's important that we're able to recognize conditions like stroke and like memory loss, like migraine, because there are effective treatments and there's a way we can prevent them as well. If of course, we recognize it and you guys come to us sooner rather than later.
Okay. You made a great point where primarily you're focused on most of the strongest conditions or the most common conditions that you're seeing in Cayman. So just to go back over that would be migraines, strokes, and did you say a third
Dementia.
one? Dementia, yeah.
There's other things like MS.
Is MS very prevalent here?
MS, it probably compared, in fact, where we're from, Kathy, and Northwestern North America has one of the highest rates of MS, and so there's genetic and environmental factors that contribute to that. But at least from the census, the last one I saw for Cayman was in 2021, the healthcare census. MS was not a prevalent thing. That being said, I saw a patient last week with MS, and so there are going to be some things that creep up, but certainly the big ones would be migraine, stroke, and cognitive impairment.
Okay. Now, we know as adults that when it comes to our health, there's certain periods in life where we need to be checked for certain things that could be happening to us, right? But when it comes to neurological problems, is there any age or era of life where you should be going in to run some tests, or why would you even go in to see, do I have a problem with something?
Yeah.
Does it begin at any kind of phase in life for people?
Can I mention a point there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's just because of aging, but I've noticed in the last 4 or 5 years especially, people talking about, I can't remember these names, or what did I go into this room for? Or where did I put my phone? Where did I put my keys?
Yeah.
All those things that are signs, right? And it's very notable. And in our community, with the high stress levels, I think it's something that, like you mentioned, Kathy, people need to check it out and not just discount it as, it's just aging, or I'm just too stressed out, or I got too much to do. Deal with what's causing it, because it is a symptom of a problem.
But could it also be we just have a lot going on, so much going on that...
It certainly could be, but Dr. Ryan can advise on that. But certainly I've noticed a lot more of it in recent years.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. More so in women. I didn't know that, but until you mentioned it, but more so in women.
And it's a good point. So you kind of mentioned that catchphrase, brain health. I get annoyed with it because I don't want it to be watered down. The brain is amazing. And I remember a line when I was a kid. We have 100 billion brain cells called neurons. And those neurons have connections between each other, which amass to about 100 trillion connections. So when you look up, we were talking about the moon last night, you look up to the stars. we have more brain connections than there are stars in our galaxy.
Wow,
right?
That's incredible.
That's how powerful you are, right? And I always tell people, your job is not to do the little things. It's to do the big things. That potential. You have a galaxy in your brain, and when it relates back to brain health, and I have a line that we talk about is brain capital, right?
Okay.
And Kathy, a couple of weeks ago, there was an internship with a bank. I forget the name of the bank. I don't know if you remember that episode.
Okay.
And a great program. But there's one thing that I disagreed with one of your hosts. And she had said that the financial sector is the most important economic driver on the island. And I disagree, right? Because the most important economic driver on the island are Caymanians, our people.
That would have been me who said that.
What's that?
I mean, those are stats.
Yeah.
but
that being said, it's people, right? It's not the buildings, and it's the ideas, it's the grit, it's a sense of community, and that really is the brain, right? And that's the spirit, and so preserving that is super important. And I think one of the things is, you're not wrong, right? Is how do you characterize brain health? What does it mean to be healthy from a brain perspective? You can tell from your body. Are you able to do the things you want to do with it, right? If you want to run a half marathon, are you able to do that? The same thing applies to the brain.
My brain says yes. My body lately has been saying no.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so those things, when you say, you know what, I'm forgetting where I put my keys, I'm forgetting names of acquaintances and things like that. At 65, a quarter of people have those complaints. And we used to discount it, even in my training. That's just part of aging. To be honest, there's bias. Especially with women, we would discount that. We know that half of those patients actually have real early dementia, memory loss, pre-Alzheimer's conditions. And we're getting smarter with technology, and something we have at Doctors is there are biomarkers, there's blood tests now that can predict your risk of dementia 20 years before you develop the symptoms.
Oh, so I should go in immediately, because sometimes I put the milk in the cupboard.
Yeah, and some of that's normal, right?
Okay.
Some of that's normal. Some of this is you're just stretched thin. But the issue is, it's just like your car, right? Sometimes you hear weird noises. Is it something serious, or is it just part of just the way, but you take it to the mechanic. The irony is that
maybe our
brain is so much more valuable, and we push it aside.
Yeah,
right? We
very,
never
very
come
true.
and get it checked out, and that's the important thing. And you can kind of tell that I'm not an alarmist, right? If it's something not to worry about, I'll reassure you. But what we do have here now in medicine is we actually have the capacity to help predict whether or not it's something more sinister.
Okay. Now, when I came into my question, I had asked, is there a certain kind of age or era in life where you should start getting checked out for any of possible conditions that could be? I don't think you answered that. Yeah. I don't think, Mario, you wouldn't have that knowledge in that sense too, but is there?
And I think it depends, right? So I've seen neurologic conditions in infants, right? And obviously middle, it depends on the stage of life. The stage of life brings different neurologic diseases, right? So MS, for instance, tends to be a disease of younger women in their 20s to 30s. Migraine, again, tend to be a condition among women in their early years, 20 to 30s. A stroke tends to be historically something we see in older ages, over the age of 65. Although in the Caribbean, in certain populations, it can be as early as the 40s. And so it really depends on the stage. Different stages in life bring different neurologic diseases. Okay. Certainly as we advance in age, in addition to stroke, you see the dementia piece.
Okay. We're going to go into brain health because I wanted to talk about that a little bit more in depth. We have to go to our next commercial break that will have maybe about 10 minutes, but there's a lot of information to get out, so I hope we can do that in our final segment for the Business Buzz.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Hey, welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and from Doctors Hospital, we have in studio Dr. Ryan, Neurologist, and Mario Ebanks, HR Director. Right before the break, we're talking about brain health here, neurology, what was involved in that. And I mentioned before, the word or the term brain health to me seems to be a little bit of a trending term. But if it's going to bring us some awareness, I don't have a problem with that at all. You had mentioned brain capital, Dr. Ryan. I like that term. It's a little bit more, there's a bit more investment in that when I think of brain capital. So when it comes to brain health, what do we mean by that?
Yeah, and I don't think there's a standard definition. The way I see it is, are you able to accomplish the things you want? Obviously based on your brain function, right? And I have a great respect for the brain. I think we have tremendous potential. I think we don't often use our complete, brain potential. And really that's it. Are we able to do the things we want to do? You're a mother of two, 35 years old. Are you able to go back to school and do that law degree, right? Are you the student who's going to third year of university, are able to accomplish things you want to accomplish? And really that's how I define it. Are we able to kind of realize our fullest potential with our brain capacity?
How do we differentiate, I guess, what is maybe our fullest potential in comparison to what is our kind of motivators? Some of us have great potential, but maybe are very depressed, very demotivated to really do or accomplish anything in our lives. So I guess how do we differentiate that? Is that a loaded question?
It is, but it's very interesting. And so one thing is when you read about the literature of brain capital as well, it's something well defined. And I'll tell you, I think Cayman is on the right path. They may not define it as that, but you guys are heavily invested in brain development. For instance, early childhood education, high literacy rates. I was telling Mario I was impressed by the Minister of Culture and Tourism, who on Radio Cayman I listened about how they're building that new youth and seniors complex, right? And all that is you're investing in brain capital, right? You're giving people opportunities, social opportunities, physical opportunities. And obviously the brain is just part of the body. The better your body is, the better your brain will be. And so ultimately, when you speak about motivation, depression, that is still coming from the brain, right? The distinction between psychiatry and neurology, in my opinion, is arbitrary, right? There's things that, for instance, Alzheimer's disease, there was a time where it was seen as a psychiatric disease, right? Because we just did not have the technology. Our knowledge wasn't there about the pathology. There's a time, actually, MS was considered a hysterical condition just because we didn't have it. And in the same way, when we speak about defining brain health, the more technology we have, and technology is part of the solution. We have MRIs, we have biomarkers, which are blood tests that tell us some indication of the health of the brain. We have advanced testing at Doctors Hospital in particular, where the way we test brain function is kind of dumb, right? It is.
What do you mean it's dumb?
It's kind of rudimentary. So we have a pen and paper test. We ask people to recall names. We ask people to draw a clock. We ask people to trace shapes. And we know, for one, it's culturally biased, right? Just like most standardized tests. The other thing is, depends on your day. Are you tired? Are you nervous sitting in front of the doctor, right? And so actually, if you do that test based on different times, even within the same day, your performance on that pen and paper test is going to change. It matters if you have a certain education level. And so it's a little bit difficult. What we can do is, when you go to see your heart doctor, there's an EKG. We can do a brainwave test where we're able to show you certain things, test your attention, your visual processing, and your auditory processing. And it gives you a report card about how your brain is functioning. It doesn't matter if you're nervous. It doesn't matter what your language is. It doesn't matter what your educational level is. It tells us in a standardized way how your brain is functioning. And so we're getting a little bit more refined to define exactly what is a healthy brain based on objective measures.
That's very interesting. And I would really like to do the test, but I'm also terrified at the same time, in that sense. But, prevention is better than cure, right?
Absolutely.
That's one of my favorite sayings out here, for sure. Is there any, methods people could employ on their own if they're trying to improve their brain health?
There's a lot of things that I think we all should be doing. One thing is really that line I tell every patient: your brain is just part of your body. The healthier your body is, the better your brain will be, right? So, and you'll hear a lot of hype about the Mediterranean diet, about the MIND diet. The reality is...
the MIND diet I haven't heard.
Yeah, the MIND diet is essentially a variant of the Mediterranean diet designed to promote brain health and help prevent dementia in particular. The reality is when if you subject patients to a diet in a randomized control trial, which is our gold standard in science, evaluating the efficacy of a treatment, it failed in trials. Head to head, if you put someone on a Mediterranean diet, it did not necessarily improve their brain function. But there's another study called the Finger study out of Finland that put everything together: counseling, stress reduction, the Mediterranean diet, and cardiovascular exercise. Everything together promoted brain health, even in the highest risk patients for dementia. And so one thing I emphasize to every patient is exercise. You'll hear a lot about supplements, a lot about all this stuff. Exercise is the thing that will move the needle the most when it comes to promoting brain health, right? It's not computer games. It's not a lot of, expensive tests that you do at home. Exercise is most important. The other thing is I'm asked a lot about brain activities, and people often think about puzzles and things like that. I tell them that things that engage your brain and your body together.
Okay.
Things like dancing, things like learning a martial arts, things like...
That's a good one.
Yeah, pickleball, right? Things like that where it's dynamic, there's a social interaction. So you're really using everything at once, firing at once. That's going to give you the biggest yield when it comes to brain health.
I think I like the martial arts aspect the best just because of the meditation part that is always involved in martial arts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dr. Ryan, what about rest and sleep? How important is that?
So it's hugely important, right?
Which I got none of last night,
Yeah,
so thank you.
and you feel it, right? And an extension of that is I often get asked, what's the right amount of sleep?
Mm-hmm.
There's no right amount of sleep.
Really?
Absolutely.
So if I say I got 4 hours and I do that on a regular thing, are you going to be like, Kathy?
That's not right.
Okay, all right.
But for instance, as we age, we need less and less sleep. And you see that with babies. They're sleeping all the time, newborns and teenagers, right? Their brain is still developing. Certainly, as we age into our late 50s and 60s, our need for sleep decreases. And that's important because there's a lot of, again, catchphrases about sleep is important. It is, but you don't need to be sleeping 12 hours necessarily when you're 70 years old. Mm-hmm. Certainly, young age and middle age, you should be investing in sleep. And I tell people, I think everybody may need a different amount. And the way you are able to tell that is how you feel, right? Yeah. You feel not great. You feel a little bit foggy today. That's a signal that you didn't get enough rest. Mm-hmm. The other thing with sleep is it's an active neurologic process. It's not like your brain is turned off like your computer. Your brain is actually restoring itself. And I use the analogy, if you've ever been to Times Square, when do they take out the garbage in Times Square? Early in the morning, 2 to 4 in the morning, right? That's when the brain takes out its garbage because it's working all the time during the day. And the only time it's able to do that, it's able to clear all these abnormal proteins is in sleep. And so sleep is when you clear all the debris from your brain. And so that's why you feel foggy if you don't have enough of that restorative sleep. It's because you're not giving the brain the opportunity to clear all its waste products.
You just opened up a whole portal in me wanting to ask, what kind of debris is our brain getting rid of? What's that process that it's going through in the middle of the night? We don't have the time. We have about 2 minutes left. So I'm going to allow you, if you have a minute, to say anything that just to close the show, if you want to let people know about brain health, now's the time to do it. And then I got to ask Mario as well to give us a little wrap up before.
And I think, and like I said, my background, I'm West Indian. The reason why I'm here is because, especially among Caribbean people, we are high risk of brain diseases, stroke, dementia, migraine. I think we have to be proactive. Brain disease will cut our lives short. It'll decrease our productivity, and it's something that sneaks up on you. And so don't discount it. Come in and get checked. And it's usually simple interventions that we can do that actually can spare you and preserve your brain over the long term. I want to see you thriving into your 90s, into your 100s, and really kind of living up to your full potential. That's my job. I'm not in the job of sick care. I'm in the job of healthcare.
Okay. Hey, I like that last line right there, Dr. Ryan. All right, Mario.
Yeah, so if you like what you hear this morning from Dr. Ryan, Doctors Hospital, I hope that you recognize that the HR function at the hospital, we're looking at trying to recruit people that actually are added value to the country. And also, a lot of Doctors Hospital resembles Cayman, diverse and vibrant, multicultural, multinational, multidisciplinary, and gender balanced. And so we are a 24/7 urgent care facility at Doctors Hospital. And we can be contacted. Number is 325-9000, 325-9000, which is the care center. Website for doctors is doctorshospital.ky. And people can also book online at mydoctors.ky/appointments. We also have, as I mentioned, Integra as well, which is integra.ky. And basically social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, and referrals between physicians at Integra and doctors, but also privileged physicians and other practitioners on the island. We are here to serve, and Dr. Ryan joins a very diverse group of professionals, and Doctors Hospital is here to be of service to the community, and we thank you for your time and your attention, and just come to see us. Don't ignore these signs. Come to get help and to trust but verify.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mario, for that. And Dr. Ryan, for the knowledge that you imparted on me and our listeners this morning. Greatly appreciated. Very easy to talk to. You have such an interesting way of explaining things. I think anybody that might be having a neurological issue or wants to get their brain checked out, do that little brainwave test that you were talking about, I think that you'd be such a great person, a doctor that people could come to and entrust. You're very easy to talk to and to understand how you explain things. It's wonderful. So thank you for being able to join us here this morning. And thanks for being a listener as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And big up to Kathy and big up to Business Buzz.
Thank you. All right. Good morning, everybody. And go and listen to the 9 a.m. headline news. And I will be with you on Thursday, right? It's only Tuesday. See, you're going to be like, okay, Kathy, you don't know the day of the week. All right. That's it for the Business Buzz.
Need some sleep, Kathy.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience